There was one rule everyone believed in: you don't fight at night. For decades, air war belonged to daylight. You needed eyes on the enemy. You needed sunlight glinting off wings, silhouettes against clouds, the moment where instinct met visibility. The night was chaotic. There were accidents at night. Night was where pilots got lost, collided, or vanished into the ocean without ever seeing what killed them. Japan believed in this rule deeply, so deeply it became doctrine. Night was their shield. By 1943, Japanese bombers crossed the Pacific after sunset, slipping through darkness to hit American ships and island bases. They trusted the black sky, trusted that Americans, brave but blind, couldn't stop what they couldn't see. U.S. pilots themselves accepted it. Night interceptions were considered reckless, experimental, almost suicidal. Everyone agreed on the rule, until one thing changed. Not a battle, not a fleet, one man in a cockpit, staring into total darkness, trusting a glowing green radar screen instead of his eyes. And in 1944, Japan learned the truth. The night no longer belongs to them. You are Lieutenant Commander Eugene Valencia Jr., 25 years old, born in California, quiet, focused, the kind of pilot who doesn't talk much on the ground and says even less in the air. You fly because you're good at it, because it makes sense to you in a way people don't. By 1944, the Pacific War was grinding forward island by island. The U.S. Navy was advancing, but every base was vulnerable after sunset. Japanese bombers, Bettys, Emilys, night raiders, slip in low and fast, dropping bombs, torpedoes, sometimes just harassment runs meant to exhaust crews and sap morale. And they're effective. American anti-aircraft guns fire blindly. Fighters scramble too late. Pilots circle in the dark, burning fuel, seeing nothing. The Japanese know this. They plan around it. Night becomes their last advantage. But you're part of something new. You fly the F-6 F-5N Hellcat. Big, heavy, ugly, some say. But bolted into its wing is a secret. AN/APS-6 airborne radar. A dish smaller than a trash can lid, buried in the right wing, feeding a ghostly green screen in your cockpit. It doesn't show planes. It shows echoes, blips, distances, bearings. And if you learn to read it, really read it, you can see in total darkness. Your squadron, VFN-41, is sent aboard USS Independence. Night fighters, a novelty, an experiment. Even friendly pilots joke about it. Blind bats, they call you. You don't laugh because you know what this means. If it works, it doesn't just stop raids, it flips the war upside down. It's just past midnight. The Pacific is black. No moon, no stars. The ocean below you is invisible, pure absence. You sit in your cockpit, engine humming at 2,300 RPM, eyes locked not on the sky, but on the radar scope glowing faintly green. Your wingman holds position off your left. You don't see him. You trust he's there. Then the controller's voice cuts in. Bogey. Bearing 090. Range 8 miles. Altitude 4,000. 8 miles. In pitch darkness. You adjust course. Small movements. Gentle. Radar first. Eyes second. Always radar first. The blip appears. Faint. Flickering. You steady your breathing. 6 miles? 5. The Japanese bomber crew doesn't know you exist. They're flying blacked out. No navigation lights. Confident. Night has always protected them. 4 miles. You throttle back. Speed is the enemy now. You don't want to overshoot. 3 miles. The blip grows brighter, stronger, solid. 2 miles. You begin to descend. You're above him now, slightly behind. The perfect position, if you can find him. 1 mile. You strain your eyes. Nothing. Just darkness. Half a mile. Then there. A shape. A darker shadow against black sky. Twin engines, straight wings. Betty. Your pulse spikes. You arm the guns, 6.50 caliber machine guns, 400 rounds per gun. You close, 800 yards, 600. The bomber crew still hasn't seen you. You squeeze the trigger. The night explodes. Tracer rounds rip forward. Orange streaks tearing into the bomber's left engine. Metal shreds. Flames bloom instantly. The Betty lurches, rolls hard right. You fire again. The fuselage erupts. The plane breaks apart mid-air. Burning debris spirals down, vanishing into the ocean without a sound. It's over in 5 seconds. You don't cheer. You're already scanning the radar again, because tonight isn't a fluke. It's a hunt. Over the next weeks, this happens again and again and again. You intercept bombers before they reach American ships, before they drop, before they even realize they're hunted. Japanese pilots begin reporting something impossible. Fighters appearing out of nowhere, no warning, no searchlights, no tracers until it's too late. One night, you intercept 3 aircraft in a single mission. Another night, 4. Your confirmed kills climb. 5, 8, 12. On October 30th, 1944, you launched again into blackness, the radar controller vectoring you toward multiple contacts. You find the first bomber at 5,000 feet, destroyed. The second tries to dive away. You follow the instruments alone, destroyed. The third turns hard. Attempting to disappear into cloud cover, you trust the radar. You fire at 300 yards, destroyed. 3 kills in one night. The Japanese crews never see you, they never hear you, they just die. And then the realization spreads. If you find this kind of forgotten military history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, innovation, and sacrifice deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help ensure they aren't forgotten. The Japanese command begins asking questions. Why are bombers failing to return? Why are losses spiking only at night? Why are experienced crews vanishing without ever reporting enemy contact? They assume luck, then sabotage, then coincidence. But the reports keep coming. Bombers shot down without warning. Fighters invisible, no searchlights, no flak damage beforehand. Something is wrong with the darkness itself. What Japan doesn't know, what they can't know, is that the night has been weaponized. By early 1945, U.S. night fighters were everywhere. Hellcats, Corsairs, even radar-equipped Avengers acting as flying controllers. Entire carrier groups now defend themselves after sunset. Japanese night raids collapse. Loss rates become unsustainable. Crews refuse missions. Veterans request transfers. Some units stop flying at night entirely. The psychological shift is devastating. The darkness was supposed to be safe. Now it's a trap. Radar-directed interceptions spread to land bases, Okinawa, Iwo Jima, the Marianas. Kamikaze attacks face radar pickets and night CAPs that catch attackers before they can even see the fleet. Air superiority no longer ends at sunset. It becomes permanent. By war's end, Eugene Valencia Jr. finishes with 23 confirmed kills, 21 of them at night, the highest-scoring U.S. Navy night fighter ace in history. But the bigger impact isn't his score, it's the rule he broke. After the war, you return home, you're 26. The war that tried to kill you is already fading into headlines and parades. Radar improves, jets arrive, night combat becomes standard, expected. What once seemed impossible becomes routine. But it started with men like Eugene Valencia Jr., sitting alone in the dark, trusting a green glow over instinct, proving that the night could be owned. He lived a full life. He passed away in 2019. Most people never hear his name, but every modern night fighter pilot flies in his shadow. Because once, in the middle of the Pacific, someone looked into total darkness and said, "I can fight here." If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Eugene Valencia Jr. and the men of VFN 41 do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.